For such a pleasant episode to end on such a disgusting note, like, you get it, right? Because when you have characters like Delia, as annoying and infuriating as it is for her to still go behind Myne's back, you get it when she's been raised from such a young age to think that being used as some noble lord's disgusting plaything is the life, where Myne brings up the topics of, like, what a true family is. But at the same time, I mean, the fact that they literally are establishing that the person coming in is going to want Myne and, whatever gross shit that entails has me worried. I mean, part of the thing that I think makes Bookworm so great is that it doesn't shy away from the darker details, and this type of time period, nobles, commoners, kind of middle class, things like that, it does make sense, and it's within our own history, right? But it doesn't make it any easier to stomach, and all I can hope is that, the characters will kill that guy, or push him away, or just keep her safe. But I don't think it's going to be 2 years before Myne ends up being adopted into that family. I think this situation could be the key into forcing her to jumpstart that adoption process, because that's the only way she'll be kept safe from a man who actually, is going to treat her nice, given that I trust in Ferdinand's ideas. Myne seemingly does as well. But man, I mean, for going into one of the biggest moments for her, the idea that, she has two options here. Either A, get adopted now and you can kickstart your printing process, because if you're a part of a noble family, you won't be targeted as heavily as some commoner who's about to disrupt the entire economy. Or you can wait 2 years and have your family life. She was like, I'll accept my family life because that matters more to me than books. But the fact that we're establishing something that could force her to get adopted sooner rather than later, and not because of a selfish thing like wanting books, but just because she wants to cherish her family life thanks to Ferdinand's guidance. What a dramatic way, man, to end an episode that had me pretty damn positive. So on that note, let's switch over to something that I'm loving. That be my boy Sylvester. That man is charming. Shit, even when Myne's blushing, I'm kind of getting a little flustered myself. This man, in any other situation, any other character, I would have been a little more skeptical. Hell, I was skeptical of Ferdinand to begin with. But then over the course of the show, really sold me as like the best character. But goddamn, there's something about him that gives you that wholesome energy. He's a troll, he's a bit arrogant, he's a bit big-headed at times, but if that man doesn't have a good heart inside him, I mean, goddamn, that's the best poker face I've ever seen, because he has me hook, line, and sinker. That scene when he gives her the charm, right? In any other situation with any other character, I would normally be up here saying, that gave me red flags, like, oh my god, if you're ever in danger, do this and I'll be there to save you. No, bitch, you're probably trying to hurt her. But no, Sylvester, I completely believe that if she's ever in danger, and I don't think you give her that item and then establish at the end of the episode some, pedo nobles coming into town, she's going to be using that amulet sooner rather than later, and I'm expecting a superhero landing to the face to whatever piece of shit's about to pop up, and I'm excited for that for sure, because this man, he kind of got off on the wrong start with Myne, but man, there isn't those moments that make them seem like they're the exact same person, just at a different age, because they butt heads almost like they've known each other for so long, almost because they are too similar. I absolutely just love his interactions, and how, when he goes to the orphanage, he has these remarks like, I thought it'd be dirtier, this or that, but man, I just look at the hunting scene, like the post-hunting scene there. I mean, even have like Myne's best friend being like, you're the best thing ever. Like, honestly, like, it's hard to hate Sylvester. And I like how they even brought up the question of like what his relationship is to Ferdinand, because at this point they have to be related. I'm not sure if they're brothers, I'm not sure if it's cousins or something like that, but they have to be related in my opinion. It just feels like Ferdinand is this very stoic, very like cool, calm and collected, mature person. Then you have this high energy, but good heart, good ideas. It's just he's a bit of a playful bastard. I have a feeling like, it's just siblings who don't quite get along, or cousins who don't quite get along. I'm excited nonetheless. It doesn't seem like it's super dramatic, but just more so I can't believe I'm related to him sort of a thing. But I guess we'll see. But I think one of my favorite things about Bookworm has always been how they've handled the economy side of things, because I think there's going to be some people who will watch a show like Bookworm and say, what's the big deal? She's going to change the world and everything's going to be great. But no, when you have an economy that's based both with, people who are doing fine in their life, who are poor, the idea of making a book, it takes a lot of people and a lot of different workshops. And then here comes this girl who, of course, Ferdinand knows the full truth about what's going on there. But imagining just in a matter of months, going from, everyone having their jobs, being able to, at the very least, feed their family, in comes a girl who's not connected to nobility, and now we're out of a job because she can do what we used to do over the course of the year in a matter of weeks in one location. You're literally about to destroy the economy, and sure, other people will prosper, but a lot of people are going to be left behind in the process, and even Myne herself admits to her own history. Some people rose up and rebelled, some people used it for good, and yeah, it will change massively. But the difference in her original history in our own world is that it was a gradual shift, right? There wasn't just someone who had modern ideas, was thrown into the 13th century, and 13th century had cars, right? No, like there's a gradual shift, and I think that's what makes it important to be cautious, and that's why Fernand, despite always seeming like he's almost picking on Myne, he always is doing it from an act of concern. One, what will it do to the world? One, what will it do to Myne? So you have two options. Either get adopted and change everything and hope for the best and do it smart, or you're going to have to wait. And I'm glad that she chose to wait, not only for the fact that the world isn't going to be shaked up quite as fast, unless, like I mentioned earlier in the video, like she's forced to adoption sooner rather than later, but two, it also goes to show that she's more than just, I am focusing on anything other than my books. Because even her herself, she admits that, sometimes she was selfish, and now she wants to cherish the time she has. And I love the idea that for her new, I think it's baby brother there, she wants to make as many picture books as possible. So even though she'll only be around for a couple of years, she'll always be a part of that family. That goes a long way for a show, man, and it really does separate, I think, Bookworm from a lot of shows with a similar idea, modern values, a setting that's not really as technologically advanced, and then they just shift it and everyone goes A-OK, they handshake and high five. No, this world will get completely flipped on its head, already more so than it already has, right? And I mean, usually these are the types of things that I think anime studios make a little too boring, because even though it's the type of content I like, there is something about anime and the way they present ideas like this. But I love Bookworm. I love how bright it is on paper in terms of its color palette and its set design. But man, just looking and listening to these characters, especially because you have Myne as this bundle of nice energy, this little girl here, and the characters surrounding her are just such contrasting nice additions that it's just hard not to have a grin on your face. I'm loving talking about this one. I'm loving covering it just because the content's great, but I think most importantly, I'm loving talking about it because the Bookworm community is far better than any anime community I've interacted with, and I've been around the block for many years now, many different anime, but the number of times I see people who are saying, hey, this wasn't in the anime and it was in the source, but the anime did a great job still conveying the same message with its different mediums, or the fact that it's just the least toxic fandom, and it makes it the most entertaining for me to talk about, not gonna lie. So thank you for making this one an enjoyable experience alongside great anime as well. But thoughts, if you have any, on this pretty great episode that sets up some pretty disgusting subject matter, but leave it to Bookworm to show us many sides of the anime spectrum. So thoughts, if you have any, let me know down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.